That's his only way to win. If he stays outside of boxes, Shakur gonna pick him apart. Shakur's a polished boxer with some of the best feet in the game right now, and he's a defensive-minded fighter, which is very smart.
Shakur Stevenson's training camp just got a massive upgrade that nobody saw coming. And what Roy Jones Jr. revealed about what he's been teaching the undefeated champion has sent shock waves through the entire boxing community. The legendary 4-division world champion didn't just show up for a casual visit. Sources close to the situation suggest he's been working hands-on with Shakur, breaking down the exact game plan needed to expose Teofimo Lopez's weaknesses when they finally clash on January 31st. According to insiders who have witnessed the training sessions, Roy Jones Jr. has been spending significant time with Stevenson, sharing the same techniques and strategies that made him one of the most feared fighters in boxing history.
He a little cuckoo too, like he has like a little mental lapses every once in a while.
So who do you think wins that fight between him and Teofimo Lopez if they fight?
I think Shakur wins. And I don't think it's going to be like a super tough fight either. His IQ will frustrate him.
Reports indicate that Roy told people in the gym something along the lines of Shakur reminds me of myself at that age. He's got everything it takes, but there's one adjustment that'll take him from great to unstoppable. That's what we've been working on. The statement has boxing fans absolutely buzzing with speculation about what secret weapon Roy Jones might be adding to Shakur's already impressive skill set as the biggest fight of his career approaches. However, what makes this collaboration even more interesting is the timing, coming just weeks before Shakur faces the toughest test of his professional career against a dangerous champion. But before we dive into the specific techniques Roy Jones has been teaching, the boxing legend made some eye-opening comments about Teofimo Lopez that completely change how people are viewing this matchup.
You gotta learn how to beat yourself. So if I give you all the tools on how to beat me, and I beat you,
I already know how to beat you, bro.
Nobody beat me.
I already know how to beat you.
All right, well, you guys tune in early
Easy.
2026.
Easy.
It's going down. Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, sugar and sweet. We're gonna make it nice and pretty.
Just days after reportedly visiting Shakur's camp, Roy Jones Jr. spoke publicly about the fight and dropped some serious knowledge about what Teofimo needs to do. Jones said during an interview with Fight Hype, stylistically, Teo got to go in and go for broke. He got to go gamble. He got to take something, get something, and that's his only way to win. He continued with even more insight. If he stays outside and boxes, Shakur is going to pick him apart. Shakur is a polished boxer with some of the best feet in the game right now, and he's a defensive-minded fighter, which is very smart. This analysis is particularly revealing because Roy Jones Jr. is essentially confirming that even someone as talented as Teofimo Lopez will struggle with Shakur's technical superiority in a straight boxing match. Many believe these public comments from Roy Jones are actually part of a psychological strategy, planting seeds of doubt in Teofimo's mind while boosting Shakur's confidence heading into fight night. The boxing community has been divided ever since news started spreading about Roy Jones working with Shakur's camp, with some believing this could be the difference maker that elevates Stevenson to superstar status. Surprisingly, the connection between Roy Jones Jr. and Shakur Stevenson goes much deeper than most fans realize, and it started long before this training camp situation developed. According to people who have followed both fighters closely, Shakur has been studying Roy Jones Jr.'s fighting style for years, trying to incorporate elements of that legendary speed and those reflexes.
I think it's really that time for him to really take his first loss and, me whoop his ass to the point where either he quits on the stool or I knock him out. How I see this fight being played out is with me pretty much setting that momentum for the people out there as well. Not really trying to force for it. However, I can't be too technical with Shakur.
Sources familiar with the training environment suggest that Shakur specifically reached out to Roy Jones because he saw similarities between his own style and how Roy dominated his era. One person connected to the camp reportedly shared, Shakur told Roy that when he watched Teofimo's last fight against Arnold Barbosa, he saw flashes of a young Roy Jones. That's what made him want to bring in the real Roy to help prepare. This connection became even more apparent during Shakur's recent interview on the All the Smoke podcast with Andre Ward and Roy Jones Jr., where the chemistry between them was obvious. Many observers believe the interview was actually a strategic move to showcase their working relationship to the public while keeping the specific training details private.
My best attribute in my skill set is my footwork. So I look forward to seeing how much am I going to how much am I going to develop going against a fighter like him? What did I learn from all the fighters that I faced in my 23 fights as a professional fighter? So, exciting.
Is there a rematch clause in this?
No rematch clause.
Fans have been flooding social media with both excitement and skepticism about this high-profile collaboration, with emotions running extremely high across the boxing community. One fan commented on social media, "If Roy Jones is really training Shakur, then Teofimo is in serious trouble. Nobody understood angles and timing better than Prime Roy." Another wrote with clear enthusiasm, "This is exactly what Shakur needed. Roy can teach him how to make elite fighters look ordinary without taking damage. Game changer." However, some skeptics have questioned whether bringing in Roy Jones this late in camp could actually disrupt Shakur's preparation rather than improve.
I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Yeah, Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, this is not going to be a close fight at all. Like, I don't think you guys understand just how good Shakur is. He is one of the best 135-pounders on the planet. In fact, I actually have him as the best 135-pounder on the planet. I don't think that Teofimo Lopez has the fight IQ to close the distance. I don't think he's going to be able to land the shots. I think that Shakur is going to be on the back foot, jabbing, doing what he usually does his way to a
One concerned observer stated, "Too many cooks in the kitchen. Shakur already has his team and his style. Adding Roy Jones weeks before the biggest fight of his career could confuse things." This division among fans reflects a broader truth in boxing. When legendary fighters get involved in training camps, it either becomes a masterstroke or a distraction, and there's rarely middle ground. The specific training techniques that Roy Jones Jr. has reportedly been sharing with Shakur Stevenson could completely change how this fight plays out on January 31st. According to sources who claim to have observed training sessions, Roy has been working extensively on helping Shakur add more offensive output without compromising his defensive excellence.
Great defensive fighter, very good offensive fighter. The difference between the two, for me, I think that Teofimo might be a little bit stronger of the two. But, speed can sometimes nullify power.
People familiar with the training focus suggest Roy has been emphasizing that Shakur needs to make his fights more exciting while still maintaining the technical superiority that has kept him undefeated. One insider close to the situation reportedly revealed, "Roy keeps telling Shakur that being great isn't enough anymore. You have to be great and entertaining." He's been showing him how to land eye-catching combinations that get people out of their seats. This approach makes perfect sense, considering Roy Jones Jr. was famous for making highlight reel knockouts look effortless while never taking unnecessary punishment in return. Many believe this is exactly what Shakur needs to silence critics who claim his defensive style is too boring, even though it's incredibly effective at winning fights. Boxing experts have suggested that if Roy can successfully teach Shakur to add just 10 to 15% more aggression at the right moments, it could result in a completely dominant performance.
Where I'm not sleeping on that I know about Teo's a good boxer. Mm-hmm. He's boxer first. Mm-hmm. So we could say, oh, he's just going to knock you out. He's just going to... That's not him. He's boxing first. He's going to want to establish distance and range on the outside and try to beat me up on the outside. So I think that's the main...
The emphasis on timing and explosive bursts of offense is reportedly a major focus of what Roy Jones has been drilling into Shakur during their sessions together. Sources indicate that Roy has been using video breakdowns of Teofimo's recent fights, pointing out specific moments where Lopez drops his hands or creates openings after missing combinations. One training partner reportedly shared after sparring sessions, "You can see Roy's influence already. Shakur is picking his spots to attack way more aggressively now. He's not just waiting for counters anymore. He's creating opportunities." This evolution in Shakur's approach could be the nightmare scenario for Teofimo Lopez, who has already admitted that fighters who move and box give him the most problems. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of Roy Jones Jr.'s involvement is what he's reportedly told Shakur about the mental side of facing someone like Teofimo Lopez.
Shakur's a great talent, and Teofimo looked great in his last fight. Of course, he didn't have Shakur in front of him, but I think that for Shakur, he has to keep the fight at his distance. If he does that, I think it's a win for him. Teofimo, he's more, he wants to draw you and he wants to counterpunch. He's going to have to be a different guy.
According to people who have heard Roy speak to Shakur about the fight, the legendary champion has been emphasizing that belief and confidence are just as important as technique. Sources suggest Roy told Shakur something in the vein of, "You already know you're better than him technically. Now you have to make him know it, too. Make him feel your superiority from the first bell." Break his spirit with your skill. This type of mental warfare preparation is something Roy Jones Jr. was famous for during his prime, often demoralizing opponents before the fight even got competitive. Many boxing psychologists point out that having a legend like Roy Jones validate your abilities and give you permission to impose your will can unlock another level of performance. The confidence boost alone from working with someone who dominated boxing at the highest level for over a decade could be invaluable heading into a fight of this magnitude.